they were divorced when he got whacked. That's and he's so blindsided by that.
You've heard from the Sports Lab Overtime, Sports Scene, TWiGS with Jeremy St. Louis, Sports Lab with our INC students, and Jeff and Zach on Tailgate. Now, it's time to bring it all together. This is This Week in Gator Sports Overtime. Your extra coverage and insider look at everything in Gator Nation.
Okay, let's do this. Let's get this thing underway. Here come the Gators.
There's also, he may have experienced what something he had life failure.
We're kicking off this version of This Week in Gator Sports Overtime with our Gators football beat reporters, Tori Kitchens, Nick Abreu. They're back together once again this week. Of course, it's a big week for the Gators football team. Facing Georgia. Nick, we're starting over with you. It seems like you're a little excited. We have a new coach.
Yep.
Interim coach, of course, Billy Gonzales. He is going to be the leader of the Gators after Billy Napier's firing. What do you think the advantages of a coaching change are for the Gators this weekend?
Yeah, I think it's an opportunity. Obviously, it's tough when you go through a coaching change, but one of those advantages is that the other team doesn't really have all that film that they've had the first 7 weeks of the season. It doesn't go out the window, but it's a lot less useful than it was before. They've got to expect some changes, and I think when you are an interim head coach coming into your first game, you probably have that in mind at least a little bit. You're like, okay, this team has the film from this same roster that I'm about to take over for 7 weeks.
Yeah.
If I can change even a little bit of an aspect to throw them off and give them something that they're not going to expect, you can come out and punch them in the mouth. And I think Billy Gonzales has an opportunity to do that.
Tori, do you expect any massive changes when it comes to the offense?
It's so hard to predict that. I think that there will be, just because it is going to be more of a collaborative effort in play calling, which will be refreshing to see, in my opinion. Here's hoping that some play calling gets changed up a bit, because many teams have said that it's been the same for the past 4 years of the Billy Napier era. So that would be a nice change to see. And, you know, I'll go out on a limb and say I'm expecting it.
Okay.
Let's go for it.
Now, I know you listened to Monday's weekly press conference with Billy Gonzales, his first Monday press conference as interim head coach. What were your biggest takeaways?
I think just his overall presence, I think, is really cool to watch. He has like notes laid out. He looks a little bit nervous just as he is starting to kind of appear more in the spotlight. He's never had a head coaching job before. I think that he's excited to take on the role, but also trying to give credit where credit's due through his other coaching staff as well.
Now, you also wrote a story Monday. Brian Kelly, big SEC coach at LSU, he was fired from his position overall. What does that mean when it comes to the Gators head coaching search?
You know, it's just another additional challenge for Scott Strickland in this search. I think that people are expecting Lane Kiffin to choose between the two. I'm not sure if that's going to even be a possibility in the first place, but I think that the LSU job is definitely a very attractive one. There's a lot of NIL that goes into that program, a lot of big recruits, so it's very exciting for anyone that's looking for a job, and I think that's just going to add another challenge here in Gainesville as well.
Now, Nick, of course, you had the original story for us when it came to potential replacements for Billy Napier. Where does that search stand as of today?
Yeah, I think it's changed over the last couple of weeks since it first came out. I actually saw Bet Online recently updated their betting odds today, and I think they have Drinkwitz at number 1 now instead of Kiffin. I think even they moved Kiffin down to 3 actually with this LSU job opening.
Yeah.
So it currently stands on the betting odds, at least. It stands Drinkwitz, James Franklin, and then Kiffin, which I think is interesting. I think Drinkwitz has quickly become the favorite for the job just because of the feasibility of it. Whether it'll actually happen, whether Scott Strickland actually likes him, we'll get to see. But I think a lot of people are seeing with this LSU job opening that Florida isn't the most attractive job on the market anymore. You've got that job at LSU, which is going to be the one that's going to turn the heads of probably not Marcus Freeman, but maybe even Dan Lanning from Oregon, one of those big names, which may not have been perked up for Florida. So I think I think it is going to be somewhat of a change, but I still think Kiffin's a possibility. I don't see Kiffin as a fit at LSU. I think if he were to leave Ole Miss, he would come to Florida.
Yeah.
So he's still my top option as the next coach for the Florida Gators football team.
Now, we know what Vegas says. What do you say? Who do you think is going to be the next Florida Gators football coach?
It's a really tough call right now. Because you have continuing with this. We need an elite ball coach that's going to win national championships.
Yeah.
But then there was also another thing he said in that same press conference, saying that, the past Florida coaches were never super successful. They had never won until they got to Florida. So I don't know. I don't know where the balance between that is.
Yeah.
I think I've kind of slowed. I said Brent Key last time. I don't know if I agree with that anymore, just because I haven't really heard much about him since then. Drinkwitz would probably be the safest one.
Yeah.
If I were to pick, I think for now, if it's not going to be Kiffin because he's not going to leave Miss, I think James Franklin's. I would be happy with that. I think a lot of people are complaining, he can't win the big games, and the SEC is every game is a big game. People are saying, which is true. I don't think he would struggle in the SEC as much. We saw him at Vanderbilt over a decade ago now, and he before they showed any signs of life, he brought them to 3 bowl games, 2 9-4 seasons. So I think the state of Florida Gators football, I think if James Franklin can take the Gators to 10 wins every season, I think they should take that, even if maybe they're not winning national championships at that point.
Yeah, at least you're a relevant program.
Exactly.
Right? And so I totally agree. But let's stick to the present here, and I'll switch gears over to Tori. When you look at this Georgia Bulldogs team and Saturday's matchup, of course, in Jacksonville, big game, big SEC matchup, longtime rivals over that border battle. Tori, Georgia looks pretty beatable.
I agree.
For the first time in a few years. What are you expecting from the Bulldogs?
I think that they're going to be, like Nick said, I think it's going to be a struggle for them because they don't really know what Florida that they're looking at. And I think that I've mentioned this in past episodes, is that I think this was the best time to make the move in coaching, because you're throwing off a program like Georgia. You have the chance to beat them for the first time in quite some time now. And Georgia hasn't had any convincing wins, in my opinion, this year. I think that they're obviously a top program. They're probably always going to be, especially under Kirby Smart. But I think that they're not a proven squad so far this year.
Yeah,
So.
You look at those games, against Auburn, for example, they won 20-10. You look at the Ole Miss game 2 weeks ago, 43-35. That was certainly, a thriller there as well. But as you said, just really no big wins. And you'll be in Jacksonville.
I will.
Saturday, covering that game for WRUF. Be sure to check out Tori game recap this weekend. Let's go to prediction time. What are you expecting? Who wins and why?
I'm still picking Georgia. So it's just so hard to predict how Florida is going to look with absolutely no idea with the new play calling, anything like that. I do still think Georgia's going to win. I think that the spread is 7.5, and I think that it's going to be roughly that. I can't throw out numbers, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I think that it's going to be probably a 10-point win for Georgia.
That's absolutely right. It is so tough to call.
Yeah,
we don't
so
know
tough
what
to call.
version of the Florida Gators we're going to see. We've seen multiple versions over even the start of the season, so we'll have to wait and see. Nick, predictions. Who you got and why?
I think I'm actually a little higher on this Georgia team than most other people. I agree they have looked beatable, especially in that game against Auburn. They've had a few games like that where maybe they kind of play down to their opponents. But then you also have impressive performance like against Ole Miss even this last weekend. And I think Gunnar Stockton is a very low-key elite quarterback. I mean, he doesn't have like the best stats in the world when you look at his stats, but he has the top QBR in the SEC, and he's just efficient. Like, he just runs that offense efficiently, and I think Georgia does end up getting the job done pretty handily. Like I said, sometimes I do stoop down to their competition, so I don't think it'll be a blowout. I think kind of a similar point differential to what Tori said, like 10, maybe 14 points.
Yeah.
I'm going to say that Billy Gonzales comes out firing. I think they kind of had to tell him a little bit. Like, obviously, Billy Napier was outdoor because he wasn't adventurous in play calling.
Yeah.
So I think he's going to take that at least a little bit, whether it's good or bad for the team. So he's going to come out looking to score immediately, looking to make big plays. So I think it will be a high-scoring affair. I'm going to go with 28-38 Georgia.
All right. We'll have to wait and see. Now, we talked about Gunnar Stockton. We talked about Billy Gonzales. We talked about both teams and even coaches, right? We can't end this segment without talking about DJ Lagway.
Yeah.
I want a prediction there as well. What DJ Lagway will we see? Will we see him finally break out of this funk that he's been in this season, or will he continue his struggles? Wrap us up, Nick and Tori, starting with you, Nick.
I think this is going to be a very telling game for the trajectory of his college football career. I think, a lot of the slack got put on Billy Napier, but I don't think it was entirely his fault. I think DJ Lagway did struggle in those games despite the play calling.
Yeah.
And Georgia really struggles to rush the passer, and their pass defense in general is not very solid. So if he was going to be able to show himself against a good team, it would be against Georgia. I think he'll have a solid game. I don't think it'll be a great game. I don't think it'll be a terrible game. I think he'll probably he seems to not be able to get through a game without throwing an interception. So I do think he'll throw an interception in this game.
Yeah.
But I do think he'll have a solid 250 and 2 touchdowns or something like that. Just a solid game that's not enough to get the Gators over the top, but kind of keeps him okay in the okay for now in the eyes of the fans.
Startable. Tori, what do you think? What do we see from DJ Lagway against Georgia's defense?
I was going to say 250 as well, between 200 and 250 pass yards. I think definitely an interception as well. That's bound to happen. But I think that his connection with O'Hara is going to be helpful with play calling as well. Hopefully there's some good looks down the field that they decide to call. But I think that this is probably one of the most important games of his young career so far, and they're not. Are they going to sit him if he doesn't play well? No, that's just not going to happen. But I think that it's definitely going to be telling for how the rest of his season will go.
All right. We'll have to certainly wait and see. Be sure to check out all the coverage from our Gators beat team. Of course, Tori Kitchens is going to the game in Jacksonville. She'll have the game recap. And be sure to check out the coverage from Nick Abreu and also Hunter DeLauder as well on WRUF.com. I want to thank you both for coming on to TWiGS Overtime and kicking things off here on the show, and we'll see you back for next week. Maybe it's a win. I mean, you guys are predicting losses.
We'll see. That'd be great news.
I think the Gators have a chance to beat the Bulldogs.
Right.
So
hey, there you go. I had the bold take against Texas. Your bold take might hit this time.
There you go. We'll see. We'll check back next Thursday here on TWiGS Overtime. Tori, Nick, thank you. Right now, we're joined by our Gator Soccer beat. Of course, Hunter Zabarski to my right, David Lopez to my left. And it's finally happened, gents. Gator Soccer is back in the postseason and in a 4-year drought. David, Hunter, break it all down. How did we get here? Starting with you, David.
So it wasn't easy. It wasn't just a linear path. The Gators made it a little bit difficult for themselves. Obviously, they lost their last game of the season 4-1 against LSU, but in my opinion, that was kind of they were due for a game where they kind of took their foot off the gas. They were unbeaten in 7 straight matches. LSU, last game of the season, playoff was practically in the bag. They kind of took their foot off the gas, and that's why it ended 4-1 in favor of the Tigers. But the Gators are looking like the strongest addition under Coach Samantha Bohan, for sure. The strongest they've looked in these past 4 years. And I think with the way they play defensively, it's perfect for a postseason tournament. A single elimination, a team that can defend for a full 90 minutes is built to go far.
Now, David, let's keep the ball with you right there. This Gator Soccer, you mentioned that they lost Sunday, 4-1 to LSU. They needed some help as well in order to get into the postseason. Break it down for us and what the postseason picture looks like.
Well, they came into that match in 11th place and left in 11th place because, thankfully for the Gators, Auburn and Texas A&M did not win their games. If both Auburn and A&M had won, the Gators would have been out of the picture. So it was pretty fine margins, but eventually the Gators made it out alive. And now they're still in 11th position. They take on number 6 Kentucky, which is not an easy opponent. The Gators actually drew with them earlier this year. And after that, they would have to move on to face number 3 Georgia. So it's tough whoever you play in the SEC, but it's especially tough for Florida coming into this postseason.
Now, Hunter, you have a story on WRUF breaking down Kentucky and all the keys to the matchup Sunday. What do you expect to see Sunday in Pensacola?
Yeah, I broke down Kentucky, and yesterday I was able to sit down with Coach Bohan and ask her about, their previous matchup earlier the year was a 1-1 draw, and talking through that. And basically this Kentucky team likes to possess the ball. In 16 of their 18 games, they've won the possession battle. But Florida's never really been favored to have more possession in any of their games. So they've become a team that's been able to adapt as the season goes on and not having the ball. And one thing she told me, because she didn't tell me much about the game plan, but one thing she did let me know on is, Kentucky likes to push numbers forward. Right, they have their outside defenders who will move up the field, and in fact, one of their outside defenders, number 6, Anna Sikorsky, get that right? She's tied for the goals and points on the team. Mm-hmm. That's a defender, who's tied for the leading goal scorer. That just shows how far up the field they push. And so, coach was kind of saying our strategy is, we don't really want to tuck in, nice and tight in the midfield, because if those defenders push up and your forwards have to follow them defend. When you win the ball back, there's nobody up there anymore.
Now, you said you sat down with Samantha Bohan, of course, the head coach of the Gators yesterday. You guys have been covering the team all season long. Hunter, did you sense a change in her vibe at all in terms of now they're in the postseason, first time in her 4-year tenure here at Florida? Has things changed in terms of the energy that she brought during that conversation with you yesterday? Yeah,
it was positive, and she told me that the staff knew what was happening in the other games, and they made substitutions accordingly to save players from getting, second yellow cards or injuries, but the team didn't know. So when the game finished, the team thought they were out. Right? Yeah, that's what she told me. So it was a positive vibe, and she said, hey, for you freshmen, for you new players, understand this is an accomplishment.
Yeah.
I know we just lost a game, but this is something we should celebrate. And in terms of that game, and when talking to her, actually, I pushed her really hard because I was like, hey, is this something you're worried about, losing 4-1 to LSU? I kind of saw it as this moment where they needed a tie or win, and they're a really inexperienced team. So was that moment too big for them? I mean, David, I'm putting you on the spot here. Do you know how many players on this team have postseason experience?
I'm going to say 0.
It's actually only 1. Right? So 1 player on this team has postseason experience. So going into Kentucky, do you think that's going to be an issue for this team?
First, can I guess who it is?
Yeah, I guess.
Is it Madison Jones because she came from Kentucky?
It's Brinley from South Carolina.
Makes sense.
But, yeah,
okay.
It was a transfer, of course, yeah.
All right. So I need to study up on my beat a little more clearly.
Hey, we have, 5 days before the big game Sunday, so you have time.
But from what I do know, I think if I'm the coach of the head of the Florida Gators, which obviously I'm not, but if I was Samantha Bohan in this situation, I think just like she said, you celebrate the moment, but lock back into the intensity that the Gators need. I thought, like I mentioned earlier, I thought it was kind of a result that was due. The way that the Gators play, especially where, you're taking risks by counterattacking, you leave a lot of space for their attackers to come in and fill the spaces that your defenders are pushing up from. So it was due for at least one of the games in SEC play that the Gators were eventually going to give up a few goals. And especially when you're on tired legs at the end of a season and when you're not sure what result you need to win a game, there's a lot of factors that played into that result. I think what I'm more concerned about is the match before that, Ole Miss, where they just could not find a goal against a defense that was begging them to attack. That's what, in a postseason tournament, you need to find that 1 or 2 moments of magic, and the Gators have struggled in one area for sure. It's finding those special moments, a goal where they need it. And I think when you're coming into a do-or-die scenario like this, where every game could be your last, the Gators have to be ready to be clinical. And I think that's what Samantha Bohan has to preach leading up to the game on Sunday. Every chance you have could be the last chance you get in that game, so take full advantage of it.
Of course, we're joined by our Gator Soccer Beat team. This is David Lopez. That's Hunter Zabarski. Guys, let's wrap it up here on this segment. Let's call it Sunday's predictions against Kentucky. Starting with you, David.
I think it's going to be a lot like the first result the Gators had with Kentucky earlier this year. That was a 1-1 draw at the Donald R. Disney Stadium. I think the Gators head into Pensacola, get the same result, a 1-1 draw. And when that game goes to penalties, nobody has been as efficient in the SEC as the Gators on penalty kicks. They're a perfect 6 for 6 this year. I think the Gators take that. Let's say 5-3 penalties,
All right.
winning that match and heading on to face Georgia next week on Tuesday.
Hunter, take it home.
Yeah, we didn't talk about our predictions early, but that was literally my prediction. The game goes to penalties, and Florida is 6 of 6. Kai steps up, the freshman. I think Florida wins on penalties, so I like that we kind of are on the same page. You know, we'll either be right together, miserably wrong together, right? as a team, as we are.
There you go. And if the Gators do win, who would be their next opponent?
Yeah, let's take on Georgia Tuesday. I believe that game will be at 3 p.m. as well.
All right, we'll see if we're talking Gators soccer here next week on TWiGS OT. Of course, those were our Gators beat reporters, Hunter Zabarski, David Lopez. Thank you so much for joining us on TWiGS Overtime.
Yeah, pleasure.
Thank you.
Back here on TWiGS OT, and right now we're joined by our Gators volleyball beat team at WRUF, Charlie Jones and Jelianis Ramos. They're back again this week to talk Gators volleyball. Lots of good news, of course, starting off with the review of their wins against Oklahoma and Arkansas. Jelly.
Yeah, it was great wins going 2-0 last week. I thought it was very essential to get the Oklahoma win, right? You were at home before you got on this road trip, 3-game road trip. They won it in 4. I was at the game. I would hope they would have been able to capitalize and win it in 3 because they won the first 2 sets. But they were able to come back after losing that set 3, win it in 4. It was a great performance by Anaya Matkin in the middle. Mm-hmm. And that led into them going on the road trip, starting it off at Arkansas. And I remember last week I said in order for them to get back into the top 25, they needed to sweep Arkansas, and they did that in a very dominant way.
Yeah.
They limited their errors at the service line, which has been their Achilles tendon this year. And I thought it was just a great performance overall.
All right, so they're now with those wins, Charlie, Gators volleyball back in the AVCA, top 25. Why does this matter?
You know, it really matters, not so much to the players and the coaches. Ryan Tice said on the Ryan Tice show last night, or on Tuesday night, excuse me, that, you know, the focus is that we just want to get as good as we can and let the selection committee decide. We don't care about what the coaches have to say with the AVCA poll. But to the fans, this significantly matters, right? 556 straight weeks ranked. That streak was broken. Now they're back in after a 3-week departure. And, you know, it's good to see that some of the ranked teams they've beaten are still prominently in the poll, right? You have Pittsburgh at 4, you have Tennessee at 16, and Baylor at 18. That could mean that the RPI for the Gators keeps on going up as we get closer to the NCAA tournament. Any type of national recognition is good, especially for that resume. So another week ranked is another great knock on the resume for Ryan Tice in his first year.
Without question, and a big reason why they are back in the rankings, Lily Hayes has had an incredible week, Charlie. We'll keep the ball with you. Let's talk about her performance for Gators volleyball.
Yeah, I mean, you can't say enough good things about the freshman, right? She's the first freshman to start at the libero position since Elise Cusack in 2006. That is a very, very long time, and it's a rare thing in volleyball where, right, you get these freshman talents in, and sometimes they slot in pretty quickly. To have such a long time where you haven't had a freshman at the position, especially such a commanding position on the court, focusing on that defense in the back row, she has handled it perfectly. She hasn't missed a beat since joining the Gators, and it showed with these last 2 matches, right? 13 digs against Oklahoma and a career-high 24 against Georgia. She has really sorted out those back row issues that plagued the Gators in the start of the season, right? You would see defensive breakdowns where they would get out of system because they couldn't back row defend attacks. And now they are finally anchored in that back row by Lily Hayes, who's getting to just about every ball, it seems. And she has really been a bright spot for this team and for Ryan Tyson his first year.
Jelianis, your turn with the ball. Take us through what's ahead for this Gators volleyball team. They're on the roll right now. How do they keep it going, and who do they face?
Yeah, absolutely. They're facing Georgia. It's Georgia Hate Week for Florida Gators, not only in volleyball but also football. But, yeah, they're on the road against Georgia on Friday, and then they face South Carolina on Sunday. it's huge. I think that if they're able to go into Georgia and also continue to be dominant, if they win, it will be their third straight SEC win. And I think if they're just able to tighten it, those small things that they're currently working on, I think that it would just be great for them. And then going on to South Carolina, if they win against Georgia, it will be their 70th win at all times. So I think it's just they got to keep it together, and I think that they'll come on top.
All right. So is that a prediction there? Are we expecting 2 wins this weekend against Georgia and South Carolina? And Charlie, get your prediction ready. I'm coming over to you.
I predict 2 wins this weekend.
So
I
keep the winning streak going.
Oh, yes.
All right.
Absolutely.
Charlie, how about you?
Yeah, you know, I am also going to predict 2 wins, but you can't count out Georgia, right? They're not slouch themselves. You know, they've had a strong record, and they have some really physical players. Couple of 6'4", 6'5" players who can really disrupt things at the net and get things out of the system for the Gators. So it'll be all about staying organized against Georgia, then going to South Carolina. It's a smaller environment in that gymnasium. Don't let the fans disrupt you, and just stick to your attacking system where, you know, you're focusing on Jordan Berg, you're focusing on Nia Madkin, attacks to Alec Roth across the middle, and then occasionally to Milica Vidicic on the side. If they can really command the offense in these 2 matches, they should come away with 2 wins before a really tough stretch. Number 2, Texas, and number 9, Texas A&M looming.
Of course, that's Charlie Jones and Jelianis Ramos here on TWiGS Overtime, and you'll be here back next week to talk about those matches. Of course, we have Georgia and South Carolina. It's Friday and Sunday. Be sure to check out all their coverage on WRUF.com as well. Charlie and Jelianis, thank you.
Thanks so much.
Back here on TWiGS Overtime. Right now, we're joined by our NFL beat reporters, Riley Orovitz, as well as Dalton Salines. They're back with us each and every week. Be sure to check out all their coverage on WRUF.com. And last week, if you joined us here on TWiGS OT, Dalton, you had a hot take that proved to be right.
That is correct. Sean Tucker, running back for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, was going to get into the end zone, and he did. A 1-yard touchdown run in the Bucs' big win over the Saints. I am very ecstatic about that. As you know, this is the first hot take that has been correct, so that's awesome, and just carries my momentum at being a little bit better at picking things than Riley is.
Well, we'll see if that momentum carries into the standings. Riley, give us an update. Where do things stand? Miami got the win, surprisingly.
Unfortunately, I did not pick Miami, which is kind of surprising. But yes, I'm still ahead by 1 game. I'm 14-9, and Dalton is 13-10. This week, I'm really hoping the Dolphins can carry out a win, put me 2 games up in the standings.
Of course, we're going to get to the picks a little bit later. But Dalton, starting with you, you had our NFL Power Rankings come out on WRUF.com. Some movement on the Dolphins and Bucs front.
Yeah, the Dolphins' big win over the Falcons, a shocking win. They moved up 2 spots to number 28. I still am not sold on Miami. I think there was a little bit of a letdown from the Falcons, who have shown that they don't really know how to play football sometimes. Tampa Bay did get back on the winning side of things with a victory over the Saints. They actually held constant in the power rankings. Unfortunately for them, all the teams ahead of them either won or on a bye. I do expect, though, if they continue their hot streak and kind of can put some wins together coming out of their bye this week, they will climb back up towards those top 3, potentially even back to the top of the power rankings.
When you look at, Ibuka, what in his recent fall off, what scares you most about his drop off recently?
Yeah, it's kind of the fact that we might have overestimated him. At the start of the season, he looked very dominant, but now he's kind of the only weapon in Tampa Bay, and he's not ready to be that wide receiver 1 just yet. It's a reminder, he's a rookie. This is his first time playing in the NFL. He's facing great defenses, and he's showing that he still has a lot to learn. I'm worried that he isn't a true wide receiver 1 yet, but if you're a Bucs fan, don't worry. He's going to grow. He's going to get better. We've seen this from guys, specifically Ohio State guys. Look at Jackson Smith and Jigba with the Seahawks. Yeah. His rookie season, he wasn't very dominant. Now he's leading the NFL in receiving yards. Yeah. So I think he can definitely recover from this little rough patch.
All right. Well, we'll certainly wait and see. Riley, let's talk a little fantasy for you. Who were your top performers? Of course, everyone, check out Riley's recap from fantasy over this past week. Riley, who were the top performers?
My top performers were Devon Achane, of course, the running back for the Miami Dolphins. He had 20.1 points. He went over 20 for the 3rd time this season, and he found the end zone for the 7th time. He's ranked at the number 3rd running back, just behind Jonathan Taylor and Christian McCaffrey, who are obviously leading the league right now. But he is doing so much on the receiving end for the Dolphins. He tied with Waddle for the most receptions in the win over Atlanta, which is pretty impressive just for a running back. And then my other top performer is the Bucs defense. They had 25 fantasy points last week. They had 2 interceptions, including Anthony Nelson, the linebacker from Tampa. He had a pick 6 to score the Bucs' first touchdown of the game, and 2 sacks as well. And then Antoine Winfield Jr. found his first interception of the season, and they also forced 2 fumbles.
Of course, that's Riley Orovitz, joined by Dalton Salins, our NFL beat reporters on RUF. Now, you guys like a little Halloween theme, as I take it. Are you guys dressing up this Friday?
Are you?
Uh-oh.
I'll be in costume.
Okay.
Me and my roommates will be in costume, dressed up. We're excited for it.
We'll look out for photos. But Riley, sticking with that Halloween theme, is it witching hour for Miami right now as you look ahead to this weekend's game?
I think it is. Thursday's going to be a very interesting game, Halloween Eve, if you want to call it, against the Ravens on primetime. Lamar Jackson's first game back is against the Dolphins. And, I mean, Miami's 2-6 right now. They could easily get to 3-6. Yes, it's not the best record, but after having a dominant performance last week against Atlanta, Dolphins to pull off the upset.
Oh, wow. Uh-oh.
They held Bijan Robinson to 25 rushing yards last week. Can they do the same with Derrick Henry?
We'll have to wait and see. That's a big primetime game. Dalton, you're over here laughing at that pick.
I am laughing because I think it's funny. I do not expect to see another performance like that. You want to talk about what's scary? It's Derrick Henry running downhill at you. Bijan Robinson is obviously a great running back, but he does it more east to west, making players miss. Derrick Henry runs through people, and I expect him to run straight through this Miami Dolphins defense.
All right, we'll see. We'll see. Of course, we'll have an update on our picks next week. But switching gears to the Jags, how did the bye week help the Jaguars?
I think it allowed them to really kind of recenter themselves on who they are. Liam Cohen, the first-year head coach, former offensive coordinator for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, is an offensive-minded guy. This extra week is going to allow him to really hone in on what they want to do on offense and figure out what they want to do with Travis Hunter. The wide receiver cornerback hybrid, reigning Heisman Trophy winner, looks like the Jaguars don't know how to use him. And yet last week, or I guess 2 weeks ago now before their bye, they started to really showcase his talents on offense. I expect that to continue in this bye week to really allow Cohen to draw upsets for Hunter and Brian Thomas Jr. to get the ball in space.
All right, we'll wait and see. Before we get to the picks, obviously we have the trade deadline coming up next Tuesday. When it comes to our Florida football teams, Florida NFL teams, who might be wearing a different jersey come next week? Dalton, we'll start with you.
Yeah, I think it's clear that the Dolphins are going to be the sellers, but I want to look at the Bucs and the Jaguars, 2 teams sitting around the tops of their division. Obviously, the Indianapolis Colts surprise start has made the Jaguars fall back a little bit, but they both could be buyers right now. There have been rumors about the Jaguars potentially trading Brian Thomas Jr. I'm not buying that. I expect them to hold on to him and potentially be looking for more help just kind of around the edges there as they struggle with a little bit of injuries. Yeah. The Buccaneers could be buyers potentially along the defensive line or offensive line. Wouldn't be shocked if they made a trade in the trenches on either side of the ball.
All right, Riley, how about you? What are you watching?
For the Dolphins, they've made it clear that they want to move on from Jalen Phillips and Bradley Chubb, both ushers, either one or both at the trade deadline. I think when it comes to looking at Jalen Phillips, he's only in his third. He tore his Achilles in 2023, but before that injury, he was so dominant on this defensive line, and moving on from him or Bradley Chubb would open up a spot for Chop Robinson, the second-year edge rusher out of Penn State. He had a great start to his career last season, and he's kind of fallen off this year. It's been a little bit slower, but if they do move on from one or both of them, I think Chop could have a breakout season for the remainder.
Right. We'll see. We'll see. Now, we have the first picks when it comes to the Miami Ravens game. I think that's been decided. Riley's taking Miami. Dalton is taking the Ravens. How about the Jags Raiders? Riley, we'll start with you.
I have the Jags winning 21-14.
All right. Dalton, who's your pick?
If you've read my power rankings, you know I do not like the Raiders at all. I think the Jaguars win. I have it 35-17.
All right, now let's get to hot taste. Dalton, can you make it 2 weeks in a row?
I think I can, and as much as I've hated on the Dolphins already on this episode, I'm going to go Jalen Waddle finishes the week as a top 3 fantasy wide receiver. The Ravens defense has struggled a little bit all season, even last week in their win over the Bears. They let Rome Odunze go for 18.5 points. Waddle and Odunze play a similar game, I expect Waddle to be heavily targeted by Tua Tagovailoa, and I think he has a game and finishes as a top 3 fantasy wide receiver.
But the Dolphins lose.
But the Dolphins lose.
Riley, your hot take.
There's an unsung hero for the Dolphins this year, and it's linebacker Jordan Brooks. He leads the league with 85 tackles. My hot take is he gets 13.
Wow. She's
Yep.
in the double digits. All right. We'll wait and see. Of course, that was Dalton Salines and Riley Orovitz here on TWiGS Overtime. I want to thank both of you guys for joining us, and be sure to check out all their work on WRUF. They'll have, of course, previews leading into this weekend's games, as well as recaps for next week, both on the fantasy side as well as the game side of things. So, Riley, Dalton, thank you. Back here on TWiGS Overtime, and right now we're joined by our WRUF men's basketball beat reporter, Jesse Bratman. It's an exciting time of the year. Of course, Gators men's basketball returns to action next Monday in Vegas against Arizona. But, Jesse, before we game, of course, we have to talk about their scrimmage against Illinois. What did you hear after last weekend's scrimmage, Jesse?
Yeah, so it was a quote-unquote secret scrimmage, not televised like most other scrimmages were, so not a lot of reports came out, but the main thing that came out was that Alex Condon was by far the best player on the floor, which is really great news considering that he was a preseason first-team All-American, not even also all first-team All-SEC, but an All-American player, and that's really the numbers you want out of your All-American. He had 24 points, 11 rebounds, and 5 assists, so a double-double out of the big man. If he is going to, put up 24 points, 11 rebounds consistently, I really don't see a way in which Florida ever loses the game. He is probably going to be their best player. If not him, then Thomas Houck. They have very similar play styles, and I think Tommy has embraced his role on the 3. We even saw that against Illinois. He really didn't play the 4 as much, which I thought, when Ruben would be subbed in, that Tommy would probably go to the 4, maybe Micah at the 5 when Kondo's out, but reporters that said that Thomas Houck stayed on the wing and he thrived on the wing and looked comfortable shooting threes, defending, your guards. When you're 6'9", defending a 6'4" guard that can move, that's really impressive. So he was able to move his feet against Kylan Boswell. Illinois' best player, Andrei Stojakovic, didn't play, neither did Boogie Fland. So obviously take that into account in the 96-86 win. But Illinois is a very good team. Beating them by 10 is no fluke. We didn't have one of our best players, didn't have one of theirs. Also, without Boogie, it was reported Xavier Lee played out of his mind. He had 17 points and 8 assists. He did a great job creating without the starting point guard. He 8 assists, setting up Tommy for on the outside 3. Urban Klabzar had a couple of threes. Xavier Lee was a great distributor, which we all knew he would have been. But even without Boogie, who was going to bring up the ball, it was going to be more, Xavier on the wing, driving, creating shots. And now when Boogie's not in the game, it's really kind of good to know that Xavier can kind of fit that point guard role as well. So when you beat number 17 team, it's a great start to the season.
Yeah, without question. Any updates on Flam?
Yeah, he just had it was more of a precautionary injury in his knee. He's really going to be good to go.
Expect to see him.
Yeah, we'll definitely expect to see him starting. I know he just got that Bob Cousy top 20 nod, so great for him. He's going to be our starting point guard. He's going to be whenever it's a dead ball situation. In transition, it's really Xavier or Boogie that can bring up the ball. But during dead balls, it's going to be Boogie setting up offense, running the offense. He didn't really do that at Arkansas. It was more of that DJ Wagner, Carter Knox. He was more of a 2 there. So going to be he played point guard in high school, so kind of back to his roots from New York. So very excited to see him at point guard. He definitely should be good to go. More of a precautionary. Okay. You don't really want to risk it, you know, especially in a scrimmage.
Of course.
But he'll be ready to go against Arizona, and he'll be ready to attack, and hopefully he'll be game ready.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to wait and see. Of course, expected to see. We're joined by Jesse Bratman, our WRUF men's basketball beat reporter. And Jesse, as we look ahead, season opener, right? We finally end the talk, and we get to see what this team will put on the court as they look to defend their national championship from last season. But they're facing a tough team in Arizona. Number 2 recruiting class. What do you expect to see on the court?
Arizona is no joke. Obviously, when you are the defending national champions like Florida is, there's going to be a huge target on your head, and Todd Golden even alluded to that last year it was very much an underdog mentality, right? You didn't have a single 5-star recruit on that team. Mm-hmm. You were ranked preseason top 20. You weren't. I mean, they're the number 3 preseason ranked team. So it's a very different dynamic that the Gators are going to have to face this entire season. And Arizona, coming out of the gate, is going to want to punch them in the mouth, no doubt. They have a very, very talented roster, as you mentioned before, number 2 recruiting class in the nation, 2 5-stars in Braden Berries and Koa Pete. I know you're an Arizona guy, so
right, yeah.
I'm sure Koa Pete.
For sure. Used to always hear his name at Perry, of course. I think won 4 state championships in Arizona. Obviously, a lot of talent as well. What do you see him bringing to the game? And you talk about this just overall talented recruiting class, and even factoring in LeBron James and his son as well. It's going to be a lot of big names on the court for both teams.
100%. There's obviously only 5 positions to play for Arizona, and they have 7 4-star recruits, with 2 of those being Koa Pete and Braden Berries, who are 5-stars. Mm-hmm. Going back to Koa, I mean, as you said, 4 high school championships, 4 FIBA, from U14 to 16 to 18. I don't think he ever lost. He has 4 gold medals in FIBA. Yeah. So he's no stranger to losing. I think he's going to want to come out of the gate and prove. I mean, he's 6'8", 250 pounds. He has a football player's build. He's a grown man. Really reminds me of Paolo Banchero back in the day, and when he came to Duke as an 18-year-old and was very physically imposing right out of the gate against 21 and 22-year-olds. So I think Koa Pete will be no different. I think that's a very tall ask of Alex Condon to be guarding him.
Yeah. What are some other key matchups that you're looking at in that game?
I'm really looking forward to just the backcourt dynamic. Arizona has Jaden Bradley and Anthony Delorso, who are senior guards, played on Arizona last year, know Tommy Lloyd's scheme, and now Jaden Bradley, since Caleb Love left, he's going to get that nod of when we need to bucket, we're going to Jaden. He's the unsung leader of this team. Excellent scorer, a stranger to Florida too, starting his career off at Alabama, played Florida twice in his freshman year. So he's no stranger to the fast-paced play of the SEC. And if he gets going, it's going to be very, very hard to stop him. Yeah. But on the other hand, Boogie Fland, he's one of the best on-ball defenders in the nation. So it's kind of that, that fire and ice, if you will. You have one of the best scorers, one of the best defenders. Really looking forward to that dynamic. But overall, you're going to have your experienced Arizona backcourt versus your brand new Florida backcourt. Yeah. I think that's going to be honestly the difference in the game is are Xavier and Boogie going to be able to figure out Todd Golden's scheme with the 4 main returning front courts? How well have they meshed in this offseason? Because we know that Arizona's 2 main ball handlers, they know the scheme, they know their teammates. So I think just that whole guard versus guard dynamic, I think whatever backcourt duo, if you will, plays better, ultimately will win that game.
All right. Certainly a lot of fun matchups in this one for sure. Jesse, what's your prediction? So how do the Gators start off the season?
I think this is going to be a Gators victory, only because when we talk about college basketball, yes, there's so many freshmen 5-star talents, Braden Berries, Koa Pete, obviously. But when you really go down to the bulk of things, it's experience. You saw it last year with a team like Duke who had 4 5-stars. Yes, did they make it to the Final Four? Did they win the ACC? Yes. But ultimately, it was Houston and Florida that made the national championship. Why? Because they didn't have a single freshman starting or even in the game. It was all experience. Florida is a more experienced roster. You're relying on, your Koa Petes, your Braden Berries. It's just so much of a wild card, especially on the first game of the season.
Absolutely.
Florida there's not a single player that hasn't played over 30 games of college basketball starting on this roster. And I think it's the experience, it's the leadership of this front court of Thomas Houck, Micah Handlaw, and Ruben Chinyelu and Alex Condon. I think they're going to be leaders. I think Alex and Tommy especially are going to have to play great games. I just think the front court of Arizona isn't as experienced. Toby Awaka is the only returner, and he didn't even start for them last year. So he has a new role. These 4 front court centers on Florida, they all know what it takes to start. They all know what it takes to win. And I think the front court is going to be a real difference. I think they're going to bully Arizona. We have Thomas Houck at our 3, who's 6'9" and can defend players like Braden Berries, who are 6'4". Yeah. So I really think the front court is the difference between this game. Okay. Florida is favored by 3.5 points. I really do like that number. Yeah. I'm not going to say this is comfortable. This is going to be a very close game by no means. Arizona is obviously number 13 in the nation for a reason. Yeah. I just think it's their youth and they're going to be their dependence on that youth. Yeah. If you take Jaden Bradley out of the game, who really is going to score, honestly? And I think Boogie Fland is more than capable of taking Jaden Bradley out of the game, especially if we have like a box and one type of defense on him. Right. So who's going to step up for Arizona? That is a big question mark for me.
Yeah.
And when we know on Florida, and they have 5 players that can easily take over a game, as we saw last year. So I just think the experience, the overall, just the more Florida is a deeper team. I know the 7 freshmen is a lot of players, but like we mentioned, LeBron James' son, Bryce James, I really don't think he's going to get in the game. Yeah. No disrespect to Bryce. He's a great player out of Sierra Canyon High School, but I just don't think on the depth chart he'll even see any time, even though he's a very prominent name. And I'm sure Arizona fans, just like Bronny with USC, I'm sure they want to see him in the game. I don't think he will. I just think that the experience and the coaching of Florida is ultimately what's going to put them on top.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense, Jesse. Of course, that's our WRUF beat reporter, Jesse Bratman, joining us here on TWiGS Overtime, this week in Gator Sports Overtime. Be sure to check out all of his coverage on WRUF.com. He's going to have a preview on Monday leading up to the big game, as well as a look back as well that published earlier today on last year's national championship run, all the milestone moments in that title run. So be sure to check out all of his coverage, and then also all of his coverage throughout the season as well. So some big games coming up, Jesse. I want to thank you for coming on TWiGS Overtime. That'll do it for this week in Gator Sports Overtime. Up next, Gator Talk with interim coach Billy Gonzales. We're getting you set for Saturday against Georgia as the voice of the Gators, Shawn Kelley, sits down with Coach Gonzales to break down the matchup against the Bulldogs. Stick around. Kickoff prep starts now.
Just might blow your mind. You're gonna find what you love and love what you find.
With curbside pickup and delivery available, you'll always find what you love, only at Total Wine & More.
Drink responsibly, B21.
It's RSV season. Is your baby protected? RSV is the #1 cause of hospitalization in all infants. Protect your baby from severe RSV with an immunization.
I think he's having trouble breathing.
A vaccine during pregnancy or preventive antibody is now available. Help prevent RSV before it happens. Learn more by visiting lung.org/RSV.
Furnished by the American Lung Association.
Are you tired of working a dead-end job? The Florida Department of Corrections has immediate opening. You can earn $22 an hour, plus get up to a $6,000 signing bonus, plus benefits. Come meet the recruitment team at Gator BTWs this Thursday from 5 to 7 at the corner of Northwest 39th Avenue and Northwest 83rd Street. Don't stay in a dead-end job. Start your new career in an exciting field. The Florida Department of Corrections recruitment team will be at Gator BTWs on the best day of the week. This Thursday from 5 till 7. Gator BTWs at the corner of Northwest 39th Avenue and Northwest 83rd Street in Gainesville.
Steve Russell here for Southeast Car Agency in Gainesville, 310 Northeast 39th Avenue. The Cousins family has run that business for 45-plus years, and in all that time, specializing in one thing, giving you the best alternative you have to purchasing a new vehicle, the best in late-model, low-mileage vehicles. I've been driving one for a long time. I trust them. You will trust them as well. And when you go see them in person, make sure and tell them Sports Scene sent you to the good people at Southeast Car Agency in Gainesville.
From the Spurrier's Gridiron Grill Studio, WRUF Gainesville, W251CT Gainesville, WRUF FM, HD2, and on the WRUF radio.
The following is a Learfield presentation of the Gator Sports Network. Live from Miller's Ale House in Celebration Point, this is Gator Talk, presented by Dreamfinders Homes, building throughout Florida, official home builder of the Gators. Gator Talk is also brought to you by UF Health. At UF Health, we believe human progress has no finish line. Visit humanprogress.ufhealth.org to learn more. Meldon Law. official injury and accident law firm sponsor of the Florida Gators. We won't back down. Hellman's Real Mayonnaise. Do dip with Hellman's and do no wrong. And by Wells Fargo, official retail bank of the Florida Gators. Now let's go to Miller's Ale House at Celebration Point in Gainesville. Here's the voice of the Gators, Shawn Kelley.
Well, hello, everyone. Welcome again into Miller's Ale House. It's another edition of Gator Talk tonight, the official start of a Gators football weekend. We've got a great crowd here for you tonight. You know what week it is, everybody. Some call it Florida, Georgia. Some call it Hate Week. A little strong. But we will all be in Jacksonville or there in spirit on Saturday, and we kick things off tonight here at Miller's Ale House. And, of course, there's a fresh feel to Gator Talk tonight as we will introduce the new interim head coach of the Gators in just a moment. A little bit later in the show, J. Michael Sturdivant will be here, the veteran transfer wide receiver, who will be a big part of what we hope is a Gators win on Saturday. That kickoff at about 3:45. Our coverage on this network will begin at 12:30 on Saturday, so we're looking forward to that. And again, a very gracious welcome already from those who are gathered here at Miller's Ale House tonight. For the man now seated next to me, the interim head coach of the Florida Gators. You know him very, very well. He's a Gator through and through. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Billy Gonzales tonight to the program.
Thank you very much. Appreciate
Coach,
you.
Great to have you. Thanks for taking time for us tonight in what I imagine is quite a different week for you, in that you will be a head coach for the first time this Saturday, and you will lead the Gators out at Everbank Stadium to take on the arch rival. I would like to ask you first and foremost, how are your days different this week than perhaps any other week in your career?
Well, I'd say they're a lot longer than they have been in the past. Usually getting up around 2:45 or 3 o'clock in the morning with something that pops in my head, and either roll over and I got two phones here, so I'll text one phone to the other so I can remember what I need to do, and end up usually getting up. But getting up a little early and heading to the office. I've been in there at 2:45, been in there about 3, and been in there about 4. So, yeah, the days are running a little longer than normal.
Without a doubt. Billy Napier brought you here for your third stint as a Gator. And so for you to now be a part of the transition to what we don't know at this point, but emotionally, how have you been able to manufacture this process?
Well, first and foremost, I think the world of Coach Napier. I've got tons of respect for him, and obviously he gave me the opportunity to come back to a prestigious university here at the University of Florida. So I'm very thankful for that opportunity. The transition piece right now, it was fast.
Mm-hmm.
You know, last week we kind of had a chance to visit with the players really quick. Transition in the coaching staff. We kind of moved some things around, kind of talked a little bit, changed the way that we're going to game plan, and then got right into the thick of things. Gave the guys off a couple days, and then we got back to work. So it's the transition's been pretty good this week.
What was the first thing that you had to transition to?
Just getting a chance to meet with the staff individually and just kind of talking about what I'd like to do. And then right after that, it went straight into a team meeting. And talking to the players. Right after that, we had a leadership committee meeting, so I had a chance to talk to them individually, and then it was, again, just kind of give the guys the day off, and then we went right back into practice. The players were awesome. The players were really good, and after talking to them after a day off, I talked to the leadership committee, and the first thing they said is, Coach, we just want to get back on the grass, you know, and I think it was a little bit more therapeutical for them as well to get back on the grass as a family. And when you go through something and change is, sometimes it's hard, sometimes it's a little easier than others, but when there's a care factor, and again, Coach Napier did such a great job of building a family atmosphere with this program. So the players, they were just excited to be around each other and get back on the field together on the grass.
You and I are of similar age, and I've found that now in this stage of my life, I don't handle change very well. I'm reminded being around this young group of people that they are very good at change and resilient. Did they energize you in any way during this process?
Absolutely. You know, I'm fortunate. I've got 2 kids that are at the same age of they're in college right now, so no, these players they've been fantastic when it comes to the energy that they bring in. And I challenged them to be a player-led team. I wanted them to take charge of the team and embrace that atmosphere as far as bringing everybody together, cohesiveness, and they've done a great job.
Tell me more about your family.
My son, Cole, he's a senior. He's a quarterback right now. He's a backup quarterback at the University of Pittsburgh. He played the first 3 years at Western Carolina and wanted to have an opportunity to go play at the next level. And so he's at the University of Pittsburgh right now. They should be about landing. They play in Stanford this weekend, so I think they left a little earlier today. And then I got a daughter. She is a sophomore right now at the in college, and she attends Mississippi State University.
How did they handle the news?
My son is on Twitter. My son is on Instagram. My son's kind of, he's kind of a football coach as well too. So he was texting me immediately, and my daughter's completely different. I don't even know if my daughter even told me anything when I walked in the house. She was just the same old. Hi, Dad. How you doing? Love you. How's everything going? So, but they're both unique. I love them to death, and obviously my wife's a great lady as well.
No doubt. A great family. Coach, what's the balance between keeping things in place and making changes that will suit what you want to be as the head coach of this program?
Well, we've got a great coaching staff, in my opinion. First and foremost, I've been in the meeting room with these guys for the last 2 years, and you get a chance to build a bond, no different than what a player does in the part of the team. For a coach, you're always building that bond with your assistant coaches, your brothers that you're in the locker room with, that you're scripting with, you're going through game planning with. So, for me, the biggest thing is. There's going to be a little change, but there's not much change. I'm letting Coach Ron over on the defense. They've done a great job. I said, first thing I told him, I said, you just keep going, man. Let it eat. Keep doing what you're doing. You're doing a great job. And then Coach Houston, our special teams are doing a fantastic job right now. VB's done a great job as a punt returner for us and kick returner. So the team's part, Smack, we've got Rocco. We've got some really good leaders on that side. So I let Coach Joe go do the same thing, go eat. And then on offense, everybody the change that I made was not really much of a change, but for me, it's more of an individual piece. Whenever there's change involved and we had a major change, I want to let things settle down a little bit. And the easiest thing for me was to have DJ's coach, which is Coach Ryan O'Hara, have a chance to talk to him consistently throughout the play call. So just like recruiting has changed with NIL, just like everything's been changing over the years, we're allowed to talk. We got the green dot. You see the linebacker, some of the coaches, they can talk to the linebacker, and it cuts off at around 15 seconds. So for me, I wanted that comfort level for DJ to hear the same voice that he hears in meetings every day, that he's been coached by in the meeting room, and all of a sudden getting a chance to hear that same voice on the football field. So he's going to be an extension of his coach. So there's a familiarity of it, and so Coach Ryan O'Hara will be able to talk to him, and it's been going really, really good. And then, the piece with Coach Callaway. Coach Callaway is going to be sitting right next to Coach O'Hara up top in the box, and I think that's going to be a win-win situation for both of us.
You'll allow them to collaborate then?
100%.
But that has to happen fast, though, doesn't it?
It does. In the most of the collaborating part comes in between series, and they do a great job. We've done a pretty good job of that in the past. Of as soon as that series is over, they'll be next to each other, and they're going to get a chance. I mean, they're going to have the same play sheet in front of them, and they can kind of talk about what kind of coverages that we saw, what kind of fronts we saw, if they're bringing pressure, what we need to check to, and I think that's good to have them both on the same page right next to each other.
I'm not a very smart guy. I can completely grasp the communication aspect, the voice of Ryan O'Hara, the regular conversation that they have all week long, and how that can translate to DJ. What I don't know, and I'd be curious to learn, is what did you know about Ryan O'Hara, or what led you to believe that his style, the way that he would want to use the playbook, would make him the play caller?
Oh, well,
I guess it's a twofold thing. I get the communication part. The other part, I'm wanting to gain insight.
I think that it all goes back to for me, is the ability for DJ to hear that same voice that coaches him. That's the number one thing. But as far as play calling, they've both done. Russ has done a great job calling practice. They both call plays at practice. They used to both call plays at practice throughout the week. Russ would call them. Ryan would call them. We'd have scrimmages. Russ would call one side. Ryan would call the other side. But like I said, for me in the transitional piece right now, with change going on, the easiest thing to do for me was just to have that consistent voice. And then the other piece of it is, Coach Steve Spurrier Jr. is going to have the opportunity to be elevated a little bit and have that communication piece with DJ on the field. And he has been in the quarterback room all season long with Coach O'Hara and DJ and Trammell and the quarterbacks. So now all of a sudden we've got Ryan up top getting a chance to talk, and then Coach Spurrier now with an elevated role with the iPads that we're now allowed to review the play in between series. So he'll be able to have opportunity to sit down next to DJ, go over it. And again, that's another familiar voice, another familiar face that they've had in the meeting room all season long.
All right. Well, that helps. I appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
Billy Gonzales here with us tonight. It is our tradition here, because you all are kind enough to come and celebrate with us the start of the football weekend. We will allow audience questions tonight for Coach Gonzales. I have a lot of questions too, but I'll make room, I promise. We've got a lot to cover, no doubt. Fans, don't forget, score a taste touchdown at the tailgate this weekend with Hellman's, the official mayonnaise of Florida Athletics. We've got a good one tonight. Gator Talk continues, presented by Dreamfinders Homes, here from Miller's Ale House after this on the Gator Sports Network from Learfield.
Is that Tacoma towing a pink mechanical bull? Sure seems like it. Well, I'll be.
Truck like you truck with a great deal during Toyota Truck Month. Get $1,000 in Conquest bonus cash for new Toyota customers on a new 2025 Toyota Tacoma. Valid through November 3rd, 2025. Offer entitles $1,000 Conquest bonus cash on certain new 2025 and 2026 Toyota pickup trucks for current non-Toyota owners of small, midsize, and large pickup trucks. Exclusions apply. See dealer for details. Toyota. Let's go places.
Hey Gator Nation, this is Vicki Brown-Worski, Director of Gators and Pal Hurt. As the Bank of Doing and official sponsor of Florida Athletics, Wells Fargo is supporting our student athletes on and off the field with interactive financial health curriculum and empowerment resources. Wells Fargo has a game plan for the full student athlete experience from their first semester on campus through graduation. Learn more about what Wells Fargo is doing to put people and communities first by visiting wellsfargo.com/impact.
Hey college football fans, I know you'd do anything for a win on game day and an ice-cold Bud Light. Because whether you're tailgating in the parking lot or parked on the couch, sitting on your lucky stool at the bar, or standing in the fan section all game long, the clean, crisp taste of Bud Light turns a win into a win-win. And there's nothing easier to enjoy than that. Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
This is Gator Talk, presented by Dreamfinders Homes on the Gator Sports Network from Learfield.
Ever feel invisible crossing the street? You might be. Florida saw over 12,000 pedestrian-related crashes last year, nearly 20% more than the year before. Stay seen and stay safe. Wear bright or reflective gear, especially at night. Walk facing traffic if there's no sidewalk, and always cross at intersections. Put the phone away, ditch the earbuds, and make eye contact with drivers. Your safety starts with being alert and visible. This message is brought to you by the Florida Department of Highway Safety and Motor Vehicles.
When you're ready to stop renting and start building something that's truly yours, when you're ready for that backyard barbecue, that front porch swing, or a place where the holidays finally feel like home, Radiant Credit Union is ready too. Right now we're offering a special low mortgage rate with flexible terms, fast approvals, and guidance for every step of the way. So when you're ready to make your move, let's get started. Radiant Credit Union. Visit radiantcu.org and apply today. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Opportunity Lender.
This is former Gator quarterback Shane Matthews, and you're listening to the home of Gator football, WRUF 98.1 FM, 850 AM, and 103.7 HD2.
Live from Miller's Ale House in Celebration Point, you're listening to Gator Talk, presented by Dreamfinders Homes. Once again, here's Shawn Kelley.
Visit your local Toyota dealers today and take advantage of great offers on Toyota trucks during Truck Month. There's no wrong way to truck, so truck like you want to in a 2025 Tundra or Tacoma. Toyota, let's go places. 104th meeting between Florida and Georgia coming up this weekend. This will be only the third time ever that an interim head coach will have been on either sideline. Third time out of 104. It's amazing. And that man will be Billy Gonzales here, leading now the Gators football program. He's with us here on Gator Talk tonight. J. Michael Sturdivant, one of his wide receivers, will be also on the program tonight as well. And Steve Egan, as always, here alongside at Miller's Ale House. Coach, when you think about, and look, there hasn't been a game under your belt yet.
Correct.
When you're thinking about now this new role as a head coach, so far, what has been what you expected? And what has now occurred that you didn't see coming in this job?
What's been expected is the players, the energy and the passion that they've had and how they've responded. I think that was an expectation of mine. The way that they've bounced back, they're resilient. I've said it before, they don't have any quit in their DNA. They've done a fantastic job. They've been motivated. They've had a great week of practice. That part's been fantastic. They've been very easy to coach and to motivate, so that part's been really good. I think the time management piece is probably the one thing that's you don't realize as a head coach. I was talking to my wife about this. I said there's so many other responsibilities that go along with it that are the outlying factors that you never really think about, and then you get the opportunity. And I'm completely honored and humbled and blessed to have this opportunity to lead this university's team and these young men, but there's a lot of other things that go along with it that just take up your time that you normally have time to game plan. So that's probably the biggest thing, the time consumption.
Billy, in your introductory press conference in this new role, you brought about play for the patch, and it resonated, I think, with the congregation and all those who bleed orange and blue. Where did that come from, and has that messaging continued with the team here since you took over?
It has continued, and it's going to continue. I think that's something that, I've got great pride in this university. I've got great pride in our players. I got great pride in the players that played here before. And, I was talking with Brandon Spikes one time, and we were talking a little bit about just the history. And, what popped up in my mind, we started talking, and we were just looking at each other, and we were talking, and I said, listen, the great thing about the University of Florida and the players that have played here in the past, they understand what it meant to play for the patch and the family and what it meant. No matter what you did, they played for the patch. And to me, that means everything. That means you're playing for the student body. You're playing for the university. You're playing for the Gator Nation. You're playing for the fans. You're playing for your brothers in the locker room. So to me, it kind of encompasses everything. So, it was important to me, and that was one of the things I just kind of popped in my mind when I said it, and it's kind of resonated. But I tell the players all the time, you play for the patch. Play for the patch, but you honor and represent the name on the back of your jersey. So we're playing for the state of Florida. We're playing for the University of Florida, and I want them to understand that.
Coach, that messaging will work 365 days of the year.
Yes, sir.
Is there a specific messaging for this week and a ball game against Georgia that you're willing to share with us that you've had with your players?
The biggest thing for me is, on a daily basis, I want our players to compete at a high level. I want them to play fast. I want our defense to tackle. I want them to be aggressive. I want the offensive guys to get lined up fast and to give them some freedom to go out and make some big plays. And that's kind of the big thing we want to talk about. I think we're really good if we can continue. We're really good, period, if we make big plays on offense and we control the ball where we don't turn the ball over. We've got a great chance to win, a great chance to win. So that's been the big message. And, we're not going up there just to, I say compete, but we're not going up there just to compete. This team here, we're going up to win a game. So we've been preparing that all week long.
Coach, in order to win that game, do the Gators need to be better in a certain area? If that's the case, what would you put your finger on?
Again, from my standpoint, it's going to be scoring in the red zone. We want to get down there. We want to have an opportunity to put points up. This team's a really good football team. They've done a good job. If you take a look at Coach Smart does a great job on the defensive side. He's been a defensive coordinator. Does a really good job. His players have been in his system. But for us, we want to be able to move the ball. We want to be able to get the ball out of DJ's hands at a quick pace, get lined up quickly, and again, put points up on the board.
Georgia's been a very good second half team this year. When you see 6.9 points per game allowed in the second half. The kind of the trend that they've been on. What does that tell you about a football team?
That they've been coached really, really good, and they make great changes at halftime.
Mm-hmm.
You take a look, and I know people talk about it, and I know Coach Smart talked about it not too long ago about, well, we don't really have enough time at halftime. You have a little bit of time by the time the coaches get into the locker room, because normally what happens, we'll come off the field. We'll have a group of coaches that go in, and we take the iPads. You can take iPads in video process. They'll go into the locker room with the players, and they'll kind of start reviewing. The other coaches, we go into the locker room, and we start to game plan a little bit based off of what they've done. We talk about, all right, what kind of front they're playing. Are they not? Are they a 4 down? What kind of pressures they're bringing? The defensive coaches are doing the same, and then you kind of put together a new game plan based on what they've done. So they've done a really good job of changing and adapting in the second half, and that's one of the reasons why they've allowed such few points in the second half.
Yeah, they've been very good in that sense. They've been in back and forth battles in the second half, and they came up short in their lone loss, which was at home to Alabama. Audience questions. We'll do those in the next segment here. I've got about 40 other things I'd love to ask, but I do need to share the room. J. Michael Sturdivant has arrived, so we'll see him up here at the table in the second half hour as well. We'll continue on Gator Talk after this on the Gator Sports Network from Learfield.
Gator fans, your dream home is closer than you think. Dreamfinders Homes, the official home builder of the Florida Gators and the 2025 National Builder of the Year, is offering incredible interest rate incentives across communities in Jacksonville, Orlando, and Tampa. Whether you're a first-time buyer or ready to upgrade, there's no better time than now to start owning, and we have the home for you. Start your search today at dreamfindershomes.com. Dreamfinders Homes, built for Florida, built for Gators.
My best friend Riley loved going to the beach. She was a great swimmer. Then one day, during a swim meet, she collapsed. She had cancer, Hodgkin lymphoma. She spent months getting care at UF Health. The doctors did so much, even put her in a clinical trial. I wish we could go to the beach right now, but she's working.
Out of the water.
She's on lifeguard duty. Maybe we'll head out when her shift is done.
UF Health. Human progress has no finish line.
Are you ready for some Gators football excitement, fans? Get ready to take your game day experience to the next level with Janet King Commercial Cleaning Services, the ultimate partner for a winning clean. Janet King has been a leader in the commercial cleaning industry for over 50 years, providing top-notch commercial cleaning services to businesses across Florida and beyond. Not only does Janet King provide exceptional game day cleaning, but they also offer tailored cleaning solutions for all types of businesses. For commercial cleaning services, go to janetking.com. That's JANIKING.com.
This is Gator Talk, presented by Dreamfinders Homes on the Gator Sports Network from Learfield.
The biggest and final store-wide sale of the year at International Diamond Center is coming next weekend, November 7th through 9th. 3 days of unprecedented savings, up to 40% off. Eternity bands, hoops, pendants, bracelets, even ready-to-wear engagement rings. Save up to 40% or get 3 years zero-interest financing. This is the event you wait all year for. Colored gemstone and designer fashion jewelry is included. Best prices all year. It's November 7th through 9th at International Diamond Center at Celebration Point. Unapproved credit.
Tired of working in a dead-end job? Start your new career with the Florida Department of Corrections. Earn $22 an hour, plus get up to a $6,000 signing bonus. Come meet the recruitment team in person Thursday from 5 to 7 at Gator BTW's, corner of Northwest 39th Avenue and Northwest 83rd Street in Gainesville.
Tired of dingy clothes and spots on your clean dishes? It's not your soap, it's your water. Call Perry's Pump Repair in Alachua for a free water analysis, providing amazing life-changing water solutions for you and your family. Read the reviews. Visit perryspumprepair.com.
Every Gator football game all season long, right here on WRUF 98.1 FM, 850 AM, and 103.7 HD2.
Gator Talk, presented by Dreamfinders Homes, continues. For more of tonight's show, here's Shawn Kelley.
Hey, does your pet bleed orange and blue just like you? Enter the Florida Credit Union Pet of the Game contest and earn wagging rights all season long. You can submit a photo of your pet showing off their Gator pride, and you can win gift cards to the UF Bookstore and Gallo Car Wash, plus a VIP ticket package to the Florida State game. And you'll also be eligible, of course, to win Pet of the Year honors. Enter today at flcu.org/FCUPE TS. Billy Gonzales here with us. Coach, you ready for some audience questions from our great group here tonight?
Yes, sir.
All right, Parker has the wireless microphone. Parker, we start, in the back. Oh, and fittingly enough,
yeah, we start
Billy
with
G, here's your first question from Miss Sue.
Here we go.
Hi, Coach.
Hi.
You took one of my questions already, just so you know.
Sorry.
You talked about the red zone offense, in which we do really well in. When I was looking at the overall stats in the SEC, we're ranked third. But let's talk about the first downs and the third down conversions, which we're sort of at the end.
Sure.
Overall in the SEC, we're at the bottom. How do we improve that? What have we done over the last 2 weeks to improve that, which will then improve our red zone offense?
Well, I think the first thing that when you start talking about third downs, and it's always a little easier to convert the third downs when it's not 3rd and 7 and 8 and 9 plus. So we just got to be a little bit more consistent on first and second down. So we've got to get DJ in a rhythm. We've got to be able to utilize the playmakers we have on the outside, and we got to be able to get the ball in Baugh's hand. I think he does a great job. So, but we've got to be productive. We've got to be more productive on first and second down, so we can be third and manageable. We're third and manageable, and there's been tons of research done on that before over the years, analytically. The teams that are really good on first and second down are usually pretty good teams because the third down management is much easier. So, yes, ma'am. What was the second question?
How it translates to red zone offense, which you had mentioned that the Gators need to be better at.
Well, I think big plays. We stress in the receiver room. We've always stressed this, that big plays are going to be able to put us down in the gold zone, in the red zone. And if we can convert on big plays, we'll have an opportunity to put the points in the end zone. So, but yes, absolutely, yes, ma'am. Thank you, Ms. Sue.
Good job, Sue. Coach mentioned Jaden Ball, by the way, who has forced 40 missed tackles now this year. 40. That's third in the SEC. Parker, who's next?
All right, next question is from Terry.
Hey, Coach. What do you see? Obviously, we're playing a really good team in Georgia. So what do you see in Georgia that we need to do to win that game?
We've got to make the quarterback uncomfortable. I think that's probably the most important thing. He's really, really good. He's a great game manager, and he's only thrown one interception the entire year. He's got 10 touchdowns, 1 interception, and he just manages. He does a really good job of not taking chances. He's got a great he's got a stable of really good receivers and really good tight ends. He's got 2 big running backs that he gets the ball to and allows them. They're twins. They're both built about the same. They both got about the same amount of yardage. They've got a pretty good receiver on the outside, Zachariah Branch, who transferred in. They got Noah, who transferred in from A&M, I believe, and then they've got, like I said, Oscar Delp. They've got a couple good tight ends. He does a really good job of managing and getting the ball to his playmaker. So, in order for us to get pressure on him, and whether it's pressure from, and I consider pressure making sure that sometimes we're covering in the back end as well, but make him uncomfortable, make him nervous, hit him a little bit more, and if we can do that, then I think we're going to have a really good chance to disrupt him and make him a little nervous.
Terry, thanks, Parker. We're cruising along here.
All right, next question is from Daniel.
Hey, Coach, since there's less outside noise now, do you think that can benefit the players in any way?
Oh, well, as far as less outside noise, I think the one thing that this team, and I talked about a little earlier, this team's been resilient, and they've gotten we've stressed the family part of it, and they've done a good job this week. And again, it's been change, so excuse me, the outside voices that they've heard, they're still there, but at the same time, I think they've bonded really, really good with this past week. And we're focused on just going. We've talked about it each time. We're focused on each day. We can get better, a little bit better each day. I'm really, really, really excited about these guys this past week. From the day we got on practice, last Wednesday, Thursday, and then they came back hungry, checked in on Sunday, and then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and today. They've all been really good practices. So we've got to clean some things up. We can continue to get better. And, we always say we're going to continue to coach until the foot hits the ball when it's time to be teed up and kicked off when we play this Saturday.
All right, Jose is next.
Hi, Coach. I want to say congratulations.
Thank you,
sir.
sir.
For your new job.
Thank you, sir.
Do you know, I know how long you've been a Gator fan. For Bulldogs, we've been beat 5 years in a row.
Yes, sir.
And they have to be changed tomorrow, Saturday.
I'm with you. That's the goal. Listen, I'm with you 100%. That's the goal. Thank you.
You guys are in agreement on that, I think.
Absolutely.
There's no doubt about that. Parker,
Absolutely.
I got time for maybe one more here.
All right. Here's Joe.
Okay.
Yeah, my question is, it kind of alludes back to the third and long situation or second and long. And is there anything that can be done to help reduce the number of illegal procedures we have? Because that really sets us back when that obviously, you know that. It sets us back.
Penalties kill you no matter what. Penalties hurt you. And when you're in first and 15, first and 20, yeah, absolutely. You're behind the sticks from the get-go. So, the communication process, I think, is one of the first and foremost things. And just how the quarterback's communicating, I think, is one. Two, not putting the offensive line in a position where they're waiting so long before the play snapped. I think those are all a bunch of different ways you can improve. So we've worked on that over the past week to see if we can speed up the snap count. But again, the clarification part in the process as far as how DJ's talking, how loud he's talking, how the quarterbacks are talking, they all play with one another. So absolutely.
Joe, thanks. I know there's probably thousands of Bulldogs listening tonight. They want to get some advantage over these Gators this week. So, Coach, I'm not going to ask you about what will be different about the Gators offense, but I will ask you about the element of surprise. Do you feel that you have it in some ways because of your new role, Ryan O'Hara's new role, his collaboration with Russ Callaway, and do you lean into the element of surprise a little bit when it comes to this weekend?
Well, obviously we're brand new. It's changed from their outlook as well. So they're obviously probably thinking about what's going to happen, what plays are they going to call. There's a change in who's calling the plays. Are they going to completely shift everything around? The biggest thing for us that we're trying to offensively do is I want the players to play fast. I want them to be able to line up. I want them to play fast. I want them to be able to eliminate thought process. And again, do what we do good. I think that's the biggest thing. Football, the game of football can be simplified, in my opinion, is do what your players do best. It's not always about the design of a play all the time. It's about what do your players do best and put them in that best possible position so they can play fast and execute the play. So for us, that's been the main thing this week is let's just focus on ourselves. Let's play fast. Put the players in. What plays, and most importantly, what plays do the quarterbacks like? I think that's people always forget about that. A lot of different quarterbacks like different things. Tim liked different plays than Chris Leak when they were together here. Mm-hmm. Kyle Trask was a little different. Some players like motion. They can visualize motion. Some players like it where it's stagnant. They can see the defense a little bit better. And you're going to have a fine mix between the two. I think there's sometimes when you're playing a defense that's man-to-man coverage, you're going to see a little bit more motion because you want to, as a receiver coach, you want to be able to create some stacks. You want to be able to create some, we don't call them rubs, but the officials call them rubs, but some natural picks that happen. So those are all the little things that you could probably say that they're probably looking at and saying, well, what are they going to do? And kind of going back in the history books to see if we're going to do something new.
Yeah, rubs, traffic jams, those are,
absolutely,
all those.
Absolutely.
When you come here to Gator Talk, and we're winding down this season, your attendance makes you a possible winner. And with that, Coach, I'll ask you if you wouldn't mind pulling a red ticket that each member of our audience has here tonight. Coach, we're going to give away 2 tickets to the Tennessee game.
Fantastic.
If you'll pull a lucky ticket here and read the last 4 numbers on that ticket.
All right. Pull it from the bottom. Last 4?
Yes, please.
You got it. All right, let's go with 2007. 2007.
Winner. Corner of the bar.
There we
well
go.
Done. 2 tickets for the Tennessee game.
That's awesome.
Hey, friends, if you're ready to kick off your retirement, if you don't have a defensive financial plan that includes the best offense for your goals, well, you can visit Talon Wealth and Talon Wealth Management, the official wealth management team of the Florida Gators. Compensation paid to Learfield for partnership with the Gators. One more segment with Billy Gonzales tonight, and we'll be joined by number 9, J. Michael Sturdivant, on the other side of this timeout. This is Gator Talk presented by Dream Finders Homes on the Gator Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey Gators, Chris Doring here. Growing up in Gainesville, my dream was to be a Florida Gator. I was honored to be a part of a team that changed it all in the mid-90s. Drawing on that same determination and work ethic, myself and my team at Chris Doring Mortgage put forth relentless effort to get our clients to the closing table and into a home they love. Find out how we can help you with a purchase loan or a refinance. Visit ChrisDoringMortgage.com.
Chris Doring Mortgage, powered by MortgageAdvisors.com, NMLS 7016819373321, Equal Housing Lender.
Every great team is built on a solid game plan, sharp execution, and total trust in the crew beside you. At Quality Plumbing, we bring that same championship mindset to every job we do. For over 40 years, we've been the starting lineup for homes and businesses across North Central Florida, delivering reliable service, expert craftsmanship, and big wins for our customers. Call us today or visit qualityplumbing.com. We're your first string team. License number CFC 043073.
If an insurance company is there to sell you insurance, shouldn't it also be there to service it with real people? At Florida Farm Bureau Insurance, we're here to help. We're focused on your specific needs. That's why we have local agents working for you in every county across the state, offering competitive rates and fast, friendly service. It's more than insurance. It's the kind of treatment you deserve. Find a local agent at ffbic.com to set up your free, no-obligation insurance review. Farm Bureau Insurance, helping you is what we do best. Proud to support Gators Athletics.
This is Gator Talk, presented by Dreamfinders Homes on the Gator Sports Network from Learfield.
With Halloween quickly approaching, one thing that shouldn't scare you is AV system integration for your home or office. The pros at Electronics World will treat you to the best. Sony, LG, Samsung, Yamaha, Martin Logan, Marantz, Bowers & Wilkins, Sonos, Monitor Audio, and more. Their team will design the system, install it within your budget, and set it up so it's easy to operate. See? Nothing to be scared about. Electronics World in Gainesville or online at electronicsworld.net. That's electronicsworld.net.
Steve Russell here from my friends at Southeast Car Agency in Gainesville, 310 Northeast 39th Avenue. The Cousins family has run that business for 45 plus years, and in doing so, they've done one thing and one thing greatly. They give you the best alternative you have to purchasing a new vehicle, the best in late model, low mileage vehicles. Great selection, great price points, and they do business the right way. You'll love them just like I do. Go see them today, Southeast Car Agency in Gainesville.
This is former Gator quarterback Shane Matthews, and you're listening to the home of Gator football, WRUF 98.1 FM, 850 AM, and 103.7 HD2.
This is Gator Talk, presented by Dreamfinders Homes, your home for all things orange and blue. Once again, here's Shawn Kelley.
Gators fans, your ultimate Florida Gators shopping experience awaits at Alumni Hall. Shop the best in officially licensed Gator gear from Nike champion Peter Millar, New Era, Yeti, and more. Spend $150, you'll receive $10 in Hall cash for your next visit. Alumni Hall, online or on their app, Alumni Hall, where Gators fans shop. Our first ever Gator Talk tonight with interim head coach Billy Gonzales, and I did not prep him for what I'm going to ask him to do now, but I think he'll handle it just fine because the relationship between the two men at the table now is very, very good. Coach Gonzales, would you please introduce our player guest here on Gator Talk this week?
Absolutely. We've got J. Michael Sturdivant here coming to join us, and I'll tell you what, he's for those that don't know, he is a speedster. He went 10-3 out of high school. And I'll let him tell you about where he finished. First and foremost, 10-3 is smoking fast. I mean, smoking fast. But I'll let him tell you where he finished in that heat when he gets a chance to talk about it. But super young man, super smart, super fast. He's a great teammate. He's a leader. He does a great job within the receiver room. Asked him to come in and be a leader when we recruited him, and he's done everything I've ever asked him to. And when I say super smart, he can switch from X to H to Z in a minute in the middle of a game, middle of a practice, and he takes great pride. He has a desire to be great. He wants to win, and you know what? He's he's super proud to be a Florida Gator. So I'm as excited to introduce him and get him going up here. I love him.
Salute. Yeah, it's a blessing to be here, man. I'm very excited for the show. I'm very, very thankful to be a Florida Gator, man. These guys changed my life, and Billy G, he's been great for me, man. So I'm very blessed to be here, and I'm excited to talk to you guys.
We'll get where you finished in that heat in a moment, but J-Mike, as his teammates call him, was with the media last night, and they asked him about what it's like now to have Billy Gonzales as the interim head coach. I thought your answer was pretty good. I've had him as my coach all season, and now he's everybody's coach.
Yeah.
What did you mean by that?
Because we see Billy G every day, man. He has a lot of energy, if you guys couldn't tell. So we see the energy every day. He comes in the meeting room, he's screaming, he's clapping, he's making a lot of noise. And we just see that every day. We see that in Indy. We see that during team. We see it in meetings. And not everybody else really gets to experience Billy G like we do. And now that he's our head coach, when we have team meetings, he's coming in with energy. You know, he's getting the team hype, and they're starting to see the guy that we play for every day, and now we're all playing for him. So it's great to have Billy G as the head man, and I'm excited to go out and play for him.
Does he yell at you?
Yeah, he yells at me a lot. But, I mean, sometimes I deserve to get yelled at, you know. But one thing I love about Billy G, he's very authentic, and he wants you to be great. So when you're doing great, he's going to tell you you're doing great. And when you're not doing great, he's going to tell you where you need to get better at. And I respect Billy G for that, and that's something that I need in my corner and that this team needs to be better.
What was it about J. Michael Sturdivant when he hit the portal, Billy, that had you racing for the phone?
Well, again, like I said, he's big, he's strong, he's fast. And like I said, you can kind of tell what kind of person he is. He's committed to the program. But you go back and you watch some of the plays that he made coming out of the portal. He made some big plays, some big time plays. So, and he's got home run threat. And so when you start looking at the ability of when you start recruiting, I think that's one of the big things. You look for hands. You look for the ability. That's number one. You look for hands. He's got fantastic hands, but he's got breakaway speed. He's got game-changing ability. So we're going to continue. We're going to continue to do that. Try to get the ball in his hands in certain ways because utilize that speed. So definitely.
So when the wide receiver coach becomes the interim head coach, do the wide receivers have a certain advantage? Are there favorites being played as far as positions go, gentlemen?
No, we're as a receiver, you know, it's not our job to call the plays. It's not our job to block. It's our job to go block for the running backs, block for the tight ends, block for the other receivers that get the ball, and run our routes to the best of our abilities and do something when the ball gets in our hands. So that's what we signed up for, and that's what we're going to continue to do each and every play.
Did he handle that pretty well, Coach?
He's bought into the team concept 100% right there. That was picture perfect.
So I think that Coach Gonzales, J-Mike, has an idea that he will be on camera a lot more than usual on Saturday.
For sure.
When the world gets this new look at Billy Gonzales, what are they going to see that you only know about because he's your position coach?
Something that the world is going to be able to see, I think, more is, like I said, the energy that he comes with. And it's not fake energy. It's not fake juice at all. He wakes up with it. He comes into the building, and every day that you see him, he's the same guy in and out. And I think that that's a blessing to have as a position coach when he was our position coach. And now being able to have that for the rest of the team is going to be able to spark a lot more energy for everybody on the team.
You strike me as a man of style.
Yeah.
Yes. See, I read it correctly.
Yeah.
If you're advising Coach Gonzales about what his style should be as the interim head coach, how would you want his fit to come out of the tunnel on Saturday?
Oh, I think if you look good, you feel good, and you play good. So everybody's style is a little bit different. So whatever he likes that makes him feel good, makes him look good, I think that's what he should rock out with when we come out the tunnel.
Yeah, you should run for office too. That was the best.
That's a great answer. Listen, great answer right here.
Coach, have you thought about what you want you and your staff to look like, or
absolutely?
Yeah, what would that be?
Wearing blue and orange.
Okay. There you go.
Our staff's going to wear blue and orange and get ready to go roll, coach these players up, and and that's our school colors. So we're going to rock and roll with blue and orange and white out there as a staff when we get ready to go play this weekend. But more importantly, like I said, the biggest thing for us, we love our players, we love our job, we love the guys, we love the team, and we're here for that. We're here to support our players, and again, let's go win a game together.
That's a great way to send you off, Coach. Appreciate your time tonight as well. Good luck on Saturday against Georgia.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you letting me come visit with you guys this
Coach Billy Gonzales.
Thank you very, very much.
More with J. Michael Sturdivant. Gator Talk continues after this on the Gator Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey Gators, when you bring Hellman's creamy buffalo chicken dip to the watch party, you can be a couch coach, cheer too loud, or worse, bring a friend who knows nothing about football.
How do they get the yellow line to move on the field?
Because when you do dip with Hellman's, you can do no wrong. That's a Hail Mayo. Hellman's, the official mayonnaise of Florida Athletics. Bring out the best.
Calling all Gators, students, alum, and diehards who bleed orange and blue. VyStar Credit Union and UF Athletics are teaming up to earn you more green. Sign up for the VyStar UF Gators credit card and get up to 20% off select Gators home game tickets. Plus, you can get a $150 bonus and up to 3% cash back on purchases when you use your new card. Whether you swipe at the swamp or tap around town, earn more. Visit VyStarCU.org to learn more. VyStar Credit Union. Go Gators. Get cash back. Federally insured by NCUA. Bonus offer subject to eligibility. Terms and conditions apply. Visit VyStarCU.org for full details.
Gator fans, your dream home is closer than you think. Dreamfinders Homes, the official home builder of the Florida Gators and the 2025 National Builder of the Year, is offering incredible interest rate incentives across communities in Jacksonville, Orlando, and Tampa. Whether you're a first-time buyer or ready to upgrade, there's no better time than now to start owning, and we have the home for you. Start your search today at dreamfindershomes.com. Dreamfinders Homes, built for Florida, built for Gators.
This is Gator Talk, presented by Dreamfinders Homes on the Gator Sports Network from Learfield.
Need to sell your house fast? Whether you're facing foreclosure, stuck with bad tenants, or just ready for a fresh start, House Buyer Network can help. We buy homes as is for cash. No fees, no commissions, no repairs. Get a fair cash offer in just 24 hours and close in as little as 7 days. Call 833-464-0827 now for your free no-obligation offer. That's 833-464-0827. House Buyer Network. Fast cash, no hassle.
The biggest and final store-wide sale of the year at International Diamond Center is coming next weekend, November 7th through 9th. 3 days of unprecedented savings, up to 40% off. Eternity bands, hoops, pendants, bracelets, even ready-to-wear engagement rings. Save up to 40% or get 3 years zero-interest financing. This is the event you wait all year for. Colored gemstone and designer fashion jewelry is included. Best prices all year. It's November 7th through 9th at International Diamond Center at Celebration Point. Unapproved credit.
Every Gator football game all season long, right here on WRUF 98.1 FM, 850 AM, and 103.7 HD2.
Live from Miller's Ale House in Celebration Point, you're listening to Gator Talk, presented by Dreamfinders Homes. Once again, here's Shawn Kelley.
Great to be back here at Miller's Ale House tonight in the Celebration Point footprint. And we're back here, of course, for Chomp the Block. Friday, November 21st, 6 o'clock. That's the night before the Gators take on the Tennessee Volunteers. That's also the Salute to Serve weekend, of course. And we'll hope to see you here for the great block party to get us all ready for the game. That is Chomp the Block here at Celebration Point. Fifth-year senior out of Overland Park, Kansas. Well-traveled, though. There's more to the story for J. Michael Sturdivant, including this being his third university, and as he finishes up his academic career as well. Let's get the thing out of the way that Coach G referred to. The race was what? I have a feeling he set you up a little bit, J. Mike.
I mean, it was my senior year of high school. I'm in Texas. It's a 100-meter dash. I run a 10.39, and I got last place.
Last place?
I got dead last. I didn't beat anybody on that track that day.
In high school?
Yeah. The winner ran like a 9-something.
The world record was 10.3 back in the 80s. That's how far this has come along.
Yeah. I was not winning that one. Not that day.
How much of your speed is God-given? How much of it have you developed through work?
Well, my mom is a track star. She went to Bradley, and she's in the Hall of Fame. And my dad, he played in the NFL and played at Virginia Tech. So I got blessed with two great athletic parents. But I also did work a lot throughout high school and growing up to be a fast guy.
What does Mom say about speed?
She definitely gave me the speed, for sure.
She gave you the speed.
Yeah, for sure. My dad is fast, too, though, but my mom is a track star.
Yeah, she's from East St. Louis, by the way, which is also the home of Jackie Joyner-Kersee, another world-famous track athlete. You're a football family, though, through and through.
Yeah.
How far out does this reach? I mean, we're talking about cousins and your dad and your brother, if I'm not mistaken, right?
I don't have a brother.
Not a brother. Okay.
No.
But there are cousins who also play.
Yeah.
So
I got 2 cousins. One plays at Indiana and one plays at Mississippi State. So it was kind of cool to have my cousin on the field with me at the same time. But it really it reaches all the way out. My uncle was Floyd Little. So it was cool to kind of grow up and talk to him. Rest in peace. But it was great to have a man like that in my life.
Floyd Little, Syracuse fame, by the way. Yes, 44. Speaking of numbers, you wear number 9 here. This is the 3rd different number you've worn in college. That must not mean as much to you. You just kind of roll with it, or what was the decision to go from 1 to 7 to now 9?
Yeah, I wore 18 and 6 in college too, so I really have I've had a lot of numbers, and that one switched during the season. But 9, I mean, that's kind of just what they gave me when I got here, and I'm gonna rock out with it.
I'm gonna rock out with it. You mentioned the transition here to Billy Gonzales. I would love for you to share with our fans here, kind of our last thing that we'll discuss, is what would you want Gators fans to know about where you and your teammates are as you now begin this next stretch and a game in Jacksonville against Georgia?
Yeah, I mean, this team, we really love each other. You know, we spend a lot of time off the field with each other and outside the facility. Like, the receivers will go watch movies together. We'll go out to eat and then go kick it at somebody's house. And that's throughout the whole team, like positions, and everybody crosses over. There's no, like, age gap. People don't care how old you are. Everybody kicks with each other, and I think that's something that has helped this team over the bye week and this week come together more as a family, as a brotherhood, and it's real genuine love between everybody. So being able to buy in with people that you love and go out and bleed with every day is something that we're definitely leaning into.
J-Mike, some of your teammates told me that they took the coaching change personally, like they put some responsibility upon themselves. What would clarify that and, you know, make sure that narrative is correct?
Yeah, when a coaching change happens in the season, a team can go a lot of different ways if you don't handle it the right way. And the leaders that we have on this team, we know that this team we have to respond the correct way, and we have to buy into the new process that we have if we want to be successful. So being able to, I guess, take ownership and lead this team as teammates in the right direction and buy into what Billy G is telling us to do and buy into what this coaching staff is telling us is the right thing to do is something that we have to do to be successful, and that's something that we're going to do.
I love it. Let's make Mom and Dad happy real quick here. We're going to leave this institution with what degree or degrees?
Yeah, I'm going to get a degree in educational science.
Very nice.
My mom's going to love that one.
She's going to love that.
Yeah.
And Dad will be happy if you're...
My dad will be happy too.
If you're off to the NFL as well.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yes.
For sure.
I enjoyed this very much.
I did too.
There is a podcast that we did back during training camp. You can go back on FloridaGators.com, a much longer visit with J. Michael Sturdivant. That was my first introduction to him. We recorded it in the back of the equipment room at the football facility. And so I've been eager to get him in front of you all, which I'm grateful for you tonight.
Thank you very much.
Good luck on Saturday. Enjoy one of the best traditions in college football come Saturday afternoon.
Yes, sir. Go Gators.
J. Michael Sturdivant, everybody. Real quick, J. Mike, pull me a red ticket. I'm running out of time. This will be for one of the simple, modern, collectible, souvenir insulated cups. Would you please read the last 4 numbers on that ticket?
2010.
2010. Come on. Got it. All right. Back to wrap things up after this on the Gator Sports Network from Learfield.
My best friend Riley loved going to the beach. She was a great swimmer. Then one day, during a swim meet, she collapsed. She had cancer, Hodgkin lymphoma. She spent months getting care at UF Health. The doctors did so much, even put her in a clinical trial. I wish we could go to the beach right now, but she's working.
Out of the water.
She's on lifeguard duty. Maybe we'll head out when her shift is done.
UF Health. Human progress has no finish line.
Hey Gator Nation, this is Vicki Brown-Worski, Director of Gators and Pal Herd. As the Bank of Doing and official sponsor of Florida Athletics, Wells Fargo is supporting our student athletes on and off the field with interactive financial health curriculum and empowerment resources. Wells Fargo has a game plan for the full student athlete experience from their first semester on campus through graduation. Learn more about what Wells Fargo is doing to put people and communities first by visiting wellsfargo.com/impact.
Is that Tacoma towing a pink mechanical bull?
Sure seems like it.
Well, I'll be.
Truck like you truck with a great deal during Toyota Truck Month. Get $1,000 in Conquest bonus cash for new Toyota customers on a new 2025 Toyota Tacoma. Valid through November 3rd, 2025. Offer entitles $1,000 Conquest bonus cash on certain new 2025 and 2026 Toyota pickup trucks for current non-Toyota owners of small, midsize, and large pickup trucks. Exclusions apply. See dealer for details. Toyota. Let's go places.
This is Gator Talk, presented by Dreamfinders Homes on the Gator Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey, Joe, what are you and Mary doing for the Gators game? Want to come by my place and watch it?
No offense, Mick, but your place is more humid than Ben Hill Griffin Stadium, and that place is nicknamed The Swamp. Why don't you guys come over to our place instead? We'll have some snacks, hamburgers, hot dogs, cold drinks, and cold air.
That sounds good, Joe. I don't know who to call about the AC. There are so many companies out there. How do you know who to call?
That's easy, Mick. Call the company we always call. Charles Berg Enterprises.
When your home comfort is on the line, trust the name Gainesville has counted on since 1967. Charles Berg Enterprises. Charles Berg Enterprises is still family owned and still guided by the values Charles Berg believed in: integrity, reliability, and exceptional customer care. And they use the best equipment on the market. Train. It's hard to stop a train. So if you don't want your home feeling like the swamp and you don't want to get swamped with high electric bills, call Charles Berg Enterprises today and experience comfort you can count on. Visit CharlesBergEnterprises.com or call now to schedule your next service.
Charles Berg.
Charles Berg.
Charles Berg.
This is former Gator quarterback Shane Matthews, and you're listening to the home of Gator football, WRUF 98.1 FM, 850 AM, and 103.7 HD2.
It's Thursday night, and you're tuned in to Gator Talk, presented by Dreamfinders Homes. Once again, here's Shawn Kelley.
Congratulations to Jose. He was our winner tonight for the Simple Modern Collectible Cup. These souvenir cups have been a hit all season long, and the new one here is in front of me. This will be for the Tennessee game, and it is the Saluting Those Who Serve week, and so therefore the Gator script is in the colors of the American flag, and the Salute Those Who Serve logo is on this blue thermal cup. And Simple Modern, of course, will be looking for you to snatch up the latest edition of their line that have been on sale at concession stands inside Ben Hill Griffin Stadium all season long. There are 6 in all. If you want to see each design and learn more, head to floridagators.com/Stadium Cup. That's floridagators.com/Stadium Cup. Steve Egan and I are about to embark on the traditional Jacksonville-Las Vegas road swing. That's because, of course, we have football on Saturday. Our coverage begins at 12:30, kickoff sometime between 3:30 and 4. And then we will join up with the Gators men's basketball team, who will open on Monday against Arizona in Las Vegas. That is a 6:30 pregame and a 7 o'clock first tip. The title defender tour begins on Monday with a home opener on Thursday. Steve Egan, are you ready? He's ready. We will log some miles. And thank you all for coming tonight. Good luck to Billy Gonzales and the Gators, of course. Let's go beat them dogs and send them silver britches back north of the border. I'm Shawn Kelley. So long for just a while. Good night on Gator Talk.
You've been listening to Gator Talk, presented by Dreamfinders Homes, building throughout Florida, official home builder of the Gators. Tonight's show has also been brought to you by UF Health. At UF Health, we believe human progress has no finish line. Visit humanprogress.ufhealth.org to learn more. Melvin Law, official injury and accident law firm sponsor of the Florida Gators. We won't back down. Hellman's Real Mayonnaise. Do dip with Hellman's and do no wrong. And by Wells Fargo, official retail bank of the Florida Gators. The preceding has been a Learfield presentation of the Gator Sports Network.
I'm Chief Meteorologist Tim Miller for WRUF-AM and ESPN 98.1. It's that time of year again where we start to watch the weather a little bit more closely with daily thunderstorms and the tropics heating up. Stay current with any weather condition with the Florida Storms mobile app. Free in your app store. Set the app to get alerts for your area and check on live radar. Storm coverage on WRUF and ESPN 98.1. Brought to you by Radiant Credit Union. Weather on the air at WRUF and online at WRUF.com.
Tired of working in a Dead-end job? Start your new career with the Florida Department of Corrections. Earn $22 an hour, plus get up to a $6,000 signing bonus. Come meet the recruitment team in person Thursday from 5 to 7 at Gator BTW's, corner of Northwest 39th Avenue and Northwest 83rd Street in Gainesville.
Say no more to dingy clothes and spots on your clean dishes. Call Perry's Pump Repair in Alachua today for your free water analysis. From water softeners to treatment, let them show you what life-changing water solutions can do for you. Visit perryspumprepair.com.
Your home for Gators football. WRUF Gainesville, W251CG Gainesville, WRUF FM HD2, and on the WRUF radio app.
Westwood One, your home for Thursday night football.